This is kind of a complicated and weird video to make, but something that I've really been passionate about in my life, and I find incredibly valuable and interesting and fun to do a lot of the time. And I find it quite lacking. So I thought it would be lacking in the mainstream. I don't see this happening a lot in just the channels of stuff I pay attention to, or anywhere I've seen, So what this is about is looking at human beings, people's faces and eyes, and deciphering by just looking at them, piecing together, or like having certain things be more likely to be true about them than others. Obviously, there's no way of really being sure unless you really know the person, and some people are kind of harder to read, and they're also good at acting, so it can be complicated. But I just have these bunch of pictures I found randomly. I might most likely going to do another video about this where I choose different people or pictures, but it really doesn't matter because it's the same process, and it's the process that is the key here. So when you look at people, what do you see by looking at this person? How can we... Yeah. So by just looking at this face, what do we see? What is it that you first look at when your eye meets another person's face? Do you see what is it that you're paying attention to? Are you paying attention to the color and the structure of his teeth? Are you paying attention to the way his skin has pores? Are you seeing that he has nice eyebrows and he's smiling? Or you're looking at how his face is shaved? Or what is it that your first thing that you pay attention to? Maybe you see this weird cut on his forehead that's probably from jiu-jitsu or something weird. Maybe you pay attention to the color of his eyes or something like that. But if you just take the time to focus at the information communicated in the way this person is holding his face, like particularly in this area right here, if we just look right there, and what would be interesting to do about this is kind of like block out the rest of the face. So if we just do like this, and we just look at the eyes here, maybe we'll cut a little bit of this top part as well, maybe. Okay, so what do we see here? What is it that I'm seeing here? Well, I see an openness, like not very tense, like right in these areas here. He's not like squinting, like doing some weird thing, I see like a lightness, like hey. And Joe Rogan is known for that voice, actually, the hey thing. And so you see this, and there's a little bit of like this. That openness is like a sign. When is it that you're open like this? When is it that people are open like this? It's usually when they're sharing something beautiful, like sharing love, or they have like a good intention, like they feel good and they want to share. That's usually when people have this kind of like love, warm thing coming out of their eyes. Another thing you see is a kind of there's a little like thing going on. It's not that strong. You can see it like in this way that the muscle here under the eye kind of like is squinting a little bit, and that there's like a little bit of this tension right here, like in this area, that is almost like you're trying to figure out if somebody's lying. or like a caution thing. Like you're kind of on edge a little bit. That makes sense, especially knowing that Joe Rogan does these like Joe Rogan questions everything and reads up a lot of conspiracy theories and stuff like this. And talks to a lot of weird, crazy people, and so it's very. So maybe because I know this person, it's easier to pick up on things like that. But this is just kind of obvious in the face. And there's all these other kinds of questions that you could ask, like usually when you see this kind of love in someone's face, they usually got it from somebody in their life. They don't just are born in a environment of complete frustration and struggle and hatred while they're just like some saintly, beautiful, loving person. So you can start to ask, like, does this person have a good relationship with their parents? And if you understand what people usually are like with their family, then you can kind of piece together things about these people's family life or what they've been through in their life. Like, this person has obviously met a lot of really awesome people because there's this sparkle and love, and that usually comes from being social. It's like a social expression. So it's just an example. Now what I want to do is look at some other examples of people. We're gonna open, don't save, we're gonna open a bunch of these from start. Let's just do one guy and one girl at a time or something like that. I don't know. So here, let's zoom out a little bit. We have this random person, or they're not random, person I don't know that I found on Instagram, and I just saw this. And first, when you look at this picture, what do you see? Maybe you see this weird background thing, or you see that she has a tattoo, or she's wearing a weird necklace, or the colors of the shirt, or she has this red thing, or like eyebrows are interesting. Like maybe that's what your face gravitate towards, or like the way her face looks, like the structure of the nose and the mouth and the jaw, like, or like the way she's holding the phone, she's taking a selfie. Maybe you're looking at how much like tits there are. Like, I don't know what it is that your first impression is, but if you just look at the person's face, if we just do not this, if we just do this is probably too high, it's probably still too high, let's just go like this. If we just cut this out, what do we see here? What is these eyes? What is this? How does this person feel? Not just feel at the time of taking the picture, like they're doing this funny smile or whatever, but like, how do they actually feel deep inside? What is their inner state? How do they feel inside themselves? And what is their like a history? How have they been feeling for a long time? Because usually this inner stuff is not just something that comes in a day and goes away. It's like what they've been living for a long time. So first thing you see when you look at here is you see pain, or I see pain. It's in the way that the eyes are open. It's like, oh, it's like it's hurt, and there's an emptiness to it. Like there is not this like the Rogan face of here, like yay, this like warmth and love. It's more lacking of that. Like not that the person doesn't have warmth or love, but that's not like they're not in that state most of the time inside themselves. They're actually more like looking for it. Maybe this girl, I don't know who this person is. I'm sorry if this is you, or if you know this person. I'm just using this pictures I found randomly to discuss this super interesting thing that I love doing, which is just looking at people and feeling them and what they feel actually from inside. There's a certain like a yeah, like wanting love or wanting warmth. There's like a loneliness kind of expression. Very lonely. Like there's not a lot of social moments of like, yay, we're doing fun stuff. This is more like, oh, why is this not happening? Or why there's a frustration. And this is all in this like the way that the eyes are open and the pupils. Like this pupil is like kind of narrow. Usually, the more narrow it is, the more like dry almost the person feels. Like look at these pupils; they're more like open, they're relaxed. It's kind of very subtle, but the more you look at it, you get better at it. And it's also in the way the face is flushed. Like look at the circulation. This person's face is red. Usually it means that they're kind of engaging or they're stimulated in a nice way. Here it's like the opposite. Like there's not a lot of circulation here. And that usually comes from feeling like repressed almost, or like holding something. Like usually it's because you're lonely and you don't have enough people to talk to, so you feel like you're holding all the stuff inside. And so there's like a this and there's also like a beautiful simplicity. Like there's something about this person that is kind of simple but in a beautiful way. Like they're not devising these like deep plans, like some shrewd process, which usually would create some kind of wrinkles or like some kind of something in this area. I don't know what the fuck that was. And yeah, let's go to this guy. And now, when you first look, you see, wow, he has a barbed wire tattoo, or he has nice hair on his face, or look at his mustache, or wow, nose ring, or like look at the color of his eyes, or his pupil is the size of his fucking face. But like, or maybe you see the tattoo, like that's what people normally look at. But if we do the thing again, I don't know why this. Where we do no. Maybe a little too high. Let's just go. Because his face is a little tilted. So I have to kind of nail this in some way, like right there, maybe. Oh, this hurts to look at even. Dude, there is a super deep, empty feeling. Like, hopeless. Like, oh, when someone's face, you see this, like, heaviness. There's a heaviness to the way the eyebrows are coming down and the eyes are kind of shut by the eyebrows coming down. There's like this like heavy, like a tired, not tired like physically, like tired from like exhausted by life type of feeling. Like just someone who's been through a lot and there's not a lot of reward. There's more like pain than there is pleasure or reward or excitement. And you see a real warmth as well. Like this person is a good person. Maybe they're a little disconnected. Kind of, there's not a lot of like a super engagement in his eyes, like these wrinkles that would be here a little bit more from like focusing on somebody almost. There's more like distance. There's this like I'm distance feeling, like a little bit of like the way this looks here is like distant, like non-attached. Like you might spend time with him, and you'll think it's really cool, but he just like won't talk to you for like 2 weeks afterwards because he's just in his own zone. This looks like someone who's very much in their own zone, and maybe doesn't have a lot of loving support in their life. This person looks like they're unsupported, but that they've had access to love at some point. So there was a point in their life when they had this beautiful love that allowed them to develop this warmth under it, but it's been gone. So on this outer layer, there's this like jaded, tired, depressed feeling, non-attached feeling. Oh, it literally says stay away. See, like that is, I didn't even like connect that with what I'm saying, but like that's the feeling. It's like it's a lack of trust also. So maybe this person has been through betrayal or some kind of sudden tragedy. Feels apprehensive about connecting with people. And remember, all this is just observation, feeling. It is not an assertion. It's not a judgment about somebody. This isn't like, yeah, he's depressed. Like, no, it's just like a hint. It's a hint. It's like they might be more like this. And if we choose someone like this girl, I don't know if I'm gonna do this for all these people. I'll probably stop in a few. But yeah, like if we just take this person, what do you see when you first meet this face? Wow, nice hair, or like look at her lips, they're so well done, or nice skin, or eyebrows are done, or like you see like this young, beautiful person. Maybe that's what you see at the beginning. But now when we do this, what do we see now? Oh, it hurts just looking at it again. Again, there is this. And so many people's faces have this. There's not a lot of loving, warm relationships floating around, especially between people that are part of media or artists that are famous. There's a lot of weird stuff. So, and beautiful women, beautiful people in general, they get a lot of weird interactions in their life. People that only see them for their skin or their lips or their body or something like that. They don't really connect with the human being inside, like the way that you feel when people don't notice you, or the way that you feel when you're jealous of someone else doing something. Like it's like your actual feeling inside. And you see this like, what do we see? We see, why is this so stupid, dude? Oh, I can't control this zoom thing. Anyways, you see a kind of hopelessness again, like someone who's like skeptical, who's like had so many things go bad, so many relationships go bad. I feel there's this like, usually this comes from relationships. Like they've had so many relationships go in a weird direction that they feel like, oh yeah, you think you like what do you know about me? Or this person feels like they're not being seen. This is the look of someone who is upset that they're not being seen, like inside. This person maybe feels neglected or cheated on or betrayed in a frustrated way. There's a kind of frustration. Do you see this like gentle like wrinkles here? all around. Like, not wrinkles, it's like the facial expression, you know? Like this muscle tugging here. That comes from like when you're upset at something, you're like, oh, like I'm mad. And that stays with people when they hold that expression or that feeling inside. It stays. If you're frustrated 18 hours a day for 10 years, your face looks like that. There's a there's this picture. I'm just gonna look it up in the middle of this because it's great. Face of man after war. Yeah, like look at this. This is the one. Look at this guy. This is a good one maybe to look at. He spent years doing this face like, oh shit, bombs, people dying, blood explosions, holy shit. Here it's just like, I don't know, cool stuff, like maybe he has some, yeah. So this is what I mean, like people's faces hold the feeling that they've felt. So here there's this like low energy, sad frustration thing. Person who doesn't believe that their life is gonna be an incredible, joyful roller coaster. This person believes that life sucks. Not believes, but holds that feeling that like something sucks. Like fuck, I hate this. We'll choose maybe. Should we do Tupac? I love Tupac. Maybe this is gonna be the last one. We'll save the others for another video. Now you look at Tupac. You see maybe like, oh, he has big lips, or he has an earring and a nose piercing, or he's wearing this bandana on his head, or he has thick eyebrows. But when you look at his eyes, you look at the person. You don't just look at, oh, he's wearing a shirt and a chain, or he has a piercing. Like, wow, he's so like unique and interesting. Just look at just his eyes. What do we see when we look at this person? Jesus Christ. Oh, when we cut this and we just look here, what is this? What is this expression? What are these? When do you look like this? When do we look like this? There's a kind of like a disbelief. There's like a, I can't believe that this is happening to me, or I can't believe you're gonna do this to me, or yeah, this is like a look of like, oh my god, like I can't believe this. And this here, this like line is like a sad line. Like this person has been looking down on the floor for a long time. They've been, you can do this with your hands as well. Like if you put your hands in front of someone's face and just block it out so that you only see their eyes. I'm just doing it with paint, but that's normally what I do, is with my hands. But when you see this eyes, there's a kind of like, you really gonna do this, bro? You can't believe it. And there's a love as well. There's like the super, like a well, like an ocean of something deep, a lot of emotion. This looks like someone really emotional. The way his eyes feel, there's a lot of energy and emotion held up. It makes sense that he's a poet. He's a writer, a rapper. Just like Post Malone, I guess, has a similar depth, but this feels more emotional. Like there's a lot of this like tears and love and all kinds of interesting stuff inside. There's a lot of pain. Yeah. There's an innocence as well. There's like a real innocence. That's like the look of someone like, oh, I can't believe this is happening. It comes from like being innocent. Like he can't expect. It's not the look of someone who gave up on the world and he's jaded. It's like someone who's still like a childlike eyes, like a. He's still innocent. He's still like a young person on the inside. There's a naivete to it almost, but in a good way, I would say, or maybe not. It's up to you. But like in a nice way. There's some beautiful thing. So yeah, I don't know what you see. There's also a little bit of coldness. More in this eye than this one. It's interesting how people can be a little bit asymmetrical sometimes, or super symmetrical. But yeah, actually, I'm gonna do one more because I think this one's really interesting because you get to see like a before and after. It's not as intense as the war one, but this is not what I wanted to do. So let's just take the young Jennifer Aniston before we look at the older version. What do we see when we see this face? There's a nice hair and like a beautiful symmetry, nice eyes and lips, and looks kind of cute. But what do we see inside the person? If we just do like this, get a little higher. What do we see? I see someone young, not someone who's not been through a hell of a lot of experience here. There's an inexperience. It's like a not super sharp, and there's also like a lack of trust, like someone who is like looking deeply at you. They're looking to see, like I feel like she's looking at me to see if I'm lying to her or how I'm going to try to hurt her. Or there's like this, I see suspicion or like a doubt. There's this like doubt and an emptiness behind it. There's this like empty feeling of like not super warm, like happy, joyful face. Instead, there's like a colder doubt, and that it like inexperienced. So this person is like waiting to see what life is going to give them. They kind of think they're kind of suspicious of it, and they're scared. They're like holding it. They're like looking at you deeper to see if you're gonna hurt them. Like, are you gonna hurt me? I know you're gonna hurt me, kind of feeling. There's a little bit of pain as well. Not that bad. But now we look at the older Jennifer, and if we were to do the same thing. Oh, this is like this, but it got confirmed. Like the suspicions are like, oh my god, this looks like someone who got validated in a bad way. Like, oh yeah, I knew it. I knew you were gonna fuck me up. I knew you were gonna hurt me or lie to me. Yeah, that's what this is. Someone who's been lied to a bunch, maybe. And this looks like someone who has a bunch here, but is suspicious. And here is like, that's it. It's been confirmed that you are gonna lie to me. You are gonna hurt me. And there's a craziness in this. There's a wild like there's an explosiveness to the way this looks to me because of the way that these lines right here look, even though they're kind of masked by the makeup. I don't know what it's called, concealer or some powder thing, but there's like a crying there's like a screaming, like an anger. This looks like anger. Like someone who was willing to explode, to like pick up pillows and like throw them around and like start yelling and like freaking out. They don't feel stable. There's not a stability. There's an on the edge feeling about this, especially the super thin pupil. See this? Like here, so it's much warmer. There's more warmth here. Here it's like, oh yeah, that's it. You're gonna fuck me up. I know what you're gonna do. You're trying to hurt me. You're gonna lie. I'm going to kick your ass, or I'm gonna see through it, or I'm going to be ready for you, and you're not gonna get me because I'm ready for you. Like there's this whole suspicion game, like up to a very severely sad level of it, and there's a very deep pain, like someone who's been lied to and been through so much weird shit, drama, that they feel like there's no way they can trust you. Actually, they know they can't trust you. Like before they even met you, they're like, yeah, I know I can't trust you. It's like a very deep disbelief and almost antagonistic relationship with people. So yeah, I just thought it's interesting to do some of these. Maybe I'll look at me for one last second, just a tiny bit. That's me hiking in the mountain after doing a break from smoking and stuff and preparing to do a ceremony. You see, you're kind of tired. You see, kind of warmth, but like a disbelief, like a some love, but also like loneliness. It's so interesting. But yeah, I'm not gonna take too much time to look at myself, because I feel like we've already made this video kind of long. But yeah, thought it's interesting to do this, and I love looking into people and feeling where they're at, instead of just seeing, oh yeah, this is Eminem, he looks like cool, he's wearing a necklace. No, actually look inside. What does he feel as a human being? Where is he at? What has he been through? Who is he? Why does he feel like this? What's his parents like? So if you have any people that you think this would be interesting to do it with, feel free to let me know. I'm probably gonna do a follow-up on this because did not go deep enough for it. And again, remember, this is not like a judgment or an assertion about someone. You're just kind of getting a feel for them and staying open, because you never know until you really know them. Sometimes people look a certain way for a few seconds, or because they're posing a certain way for a picture, but this kind of deep stuff, like the structure around their face and eyes, is not usually a momentary thing, unless the person is super good at acting and they practice that, especially like a spy or something. And some people are harder to read for different reasons. Maybe you don't understand the feeling they have, you can't relate to it. But yeah, I think this is super interesting shit, and I've only gotten a lot better at it as the more I do it. So it's extremely valuable in my life. It lets me know about people so I don't get in a relationship with them, or if I do get in relationships with them, whether it's friendships or work things or anything, I kind of have a feel for where they're at already before committing or stepping forward. I'm seeing so much already that I just have to put together a few puzzle pieces, and then so much more of the picture will be clear instead of starting from zero. and like having to go through years of knowing the person to form a concrete image about what their personality is like and what they've been through.